Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to TGP2 action once again. We've got just 4 rounds to go in this World Championship, and the title battle is heating up race by race. The next 2 races, we have Mexico here tonight in the wonderful city of Mexico City, of course, and then we head across to Europe, to Azerbaijan in the far east of Europe, for a race around the Baku City Street Circuit. I'm Ginger Andy, once again joining me in commentary this evening. We have got the wonderful Scouse tones of Dan the Man. Welcome along, Dan.
Hello, Andy. Yes, it's nice to hear you again, and yeah, I'm very looking forward to tonight's races. 2 pretty different tracks, but hopefully they should provide entertainment, both of them.
Yeah, they should. Hopefully they will. Very interesting tracks indeed. Mexico City, of course, a track that was on the calendar, you know, back in the olden days, back before I was on this planet, back before we were both on this planet, when Nigel Mansell was going around the old Peraltada, around the outside of drivers, and Murray Walker, of course, what a shame to lose him like the weekend. He was singing his praise, of course, around that Peraltada when the great Nigel Mansell was making that move. A big person that we will miss here at the TGP, of course, and everyone in Formula One will miss Dan as well.
Yeah, it was so sad, but it's been nice to hear some like classic lines again and stuff like that, and hopefully a new generation might have heard Murray for the first time maybe this weekend and have learned about the legend.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point you make, of course. We need to remember that we're starting to get a little bit old now as well, Dan, aren't we? There's a younger generation that don't even remember things like Hamilton winning his first title. But anyway, on to the action here with 6.5 minutes to go. And we've got some interesting information for you in this qualifying session. Sam Hickman out, Sir Tom Penguin out, and crucially, you saw it before we got going, Dan, Mr. Chiapelli, the World Championship leader, out of qualifying. What happened?
Yeah, well, he's went off at the entry to the stadium section, the right-hander. I didn't actually see it happen, but the car was just deep into the barriers there, so I really don't know how that has happened. And then a few seconds later, Mike Noon crashed at the start of the S's, but he's not out the session, crucially for him, as Bossman Jones wants to cross the line, and look at that. Happy St. Patrick's Day, look at that, first place.
Yeah, happy St. Patrick's Day to the Irishman. He goes quickest of all, Bossman Sean, 1 minute 14.384, the quickest time on the board so far. We've got Chris Thurgood on an out lap, we've got Jack Pearson starting a flying lap, Mike Noon on an out lap. While we watch Jack Pearson then, let's have a little look at the crucial factors. The World Championship, of course, Dan the Man, is getting very, very close, very, very tight, with just 4 races to go.
It is indeed. You've got Luca in the lead on 294 points, and then 19 points back you have Jack Pearson on 275, and then Mike Noon in third on 255. So really, those are the big 3 challengers. You have got the outsiders of Sam Hickey on 219 and Chris Johnson on 216, but I think at this stage that takes something quite incredible for those guys to win the championship. But really, it's these 3, Chiapelli, Jack and Mike Noon, who are going for the title. And of course, after that controversial end to the race last week in Russia, where Mike Noon did protest with that late penalty, thanks to being side by side with Luca through the right-hander, there was no decision made, there was no penalty for Luca or anything like that, so everything stayed as it was. And we've got a 19-point gap between the top 2 in the championship.
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right to say Sam Hickey, Chris Johnson, they're still mathematically in it, but the chances of them being in it after this weekend, very, very slim indeed. 3 cars in it, Mike Noon in there, just about. But to be honest, Mike Noon, if he wants to keep this realistic chance of a championship, he needs to go out there and be in the top 2 or 3 places in both races and beat Luca in both as he slides his way underneath the old grandstand and into the pit lane. He comes on that hot lap, he abandons it, so it's Bossman Sean still on top, but we have got Chris Thurgood out there on a hot lap and coming towards the end of the lap, pushing all the way, and he's bailed out, in fact, has Chris Thurgood, so he bails out. It's Bossman Sean still on top, 4 minutes to go. Dom Smith out there, he's gone 5th quickest, 8 tenths from pole position. Is he on a hot lap, or is he slowed right down? I think he has slowed right down.
Yeah, and Mike Noonan validated that lap earlier, which is why he abandoned it. So right now you've got Jack 3rd, Mike Noonan 4th, Luca down in 7th, and he could still easily be overtaken by a lot more drivers in the final runs. I tell you what, Jack and Mike will be praying that Luca gets pushed down the order.
Yeah, sure. Well, because there's every possibility. Well, he's done that lap time on the medium tyres, and there's already look how close it is. He could end up as low as 13th quite easily. I mean, there's only a tenth and a bit between Luca's 7th and 13th place, and Mr. John pops into 14th, only 1.9 away. So even 14th potentially, he could end up in this order. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Mike Noon, Jack Pearson will be sitting there praying that Luca drops through the order, and there's every chance he could. As we watch Baza, one of those drivers in that cluster behind Mr. Chiapelli that could hamper him and drop him down the order. And remember, Chiapelli cannot go out. He's crashed. He's binned it. So 7th at best for him. Is it about to be 8th at best? As here comes the Red Bull driver, Baza, round the final corner, and he shoots up to 6th, and that immediately demotes Luca Chiapelli down to 8th.
Good lap down by Baza, and you can see, by the way, just very quickly, Baza's running the number 97, because obviously that was the age Murray Walker was when he died, and also has got a bit of a Damon Hill style crash helmet for this race. Of course, one of Murray's most famous lines was when Hill won the World Championship, so that's very nice to see. And as you say, he gets into the top 6, Baza. Yeah,
that's a good, nice touch there from Baza, as Alex Zafro is out there pushing very, very hard. He's got the DRS open, and he's 2.5 tenths up at the minute on his previous best. He's really finding a bit of form, Alex Zafro, isn't he, in recent weeks? And he's getting better and stronger as the weeks go by, and this is a potential chance to move also ahead of the championship leader, Mr. Chiapelli. Round the final corner comes Alex Zafro in that Renault. Where can he put it? He can put it up into 6th place. Oh, that's a fine effort from Alex Zafro, ahead of Baza, ahead of Chiapelli as well. And wow, Alex Zafro coming alive at the end of the season, isn't he? It's like an Indian summer.
Yeah, brilliant stuff by Alex Zafro. There is actually a big battle going on for 10th in the championship that Alex Zafro is involved in. You've got like the likes of Neljak, Joe Sayer, who isn't here tonight, Blair Gills, and Mr. John and Alex are all separated by 6 points just in a fight for 10th in the championship. That will certainly help Alex a lot.
Yeah, well, indeed, and it's quite the battle that's shaping up all around in the order as things stand. As we've got Jack Pearson on outlap, we've got Mike Noon, purple, in the first sector. So here we go, Mike Noon, who really needs a result, 39 points. He is behind in the championship. If he's more than 52 behind come the end of play today, it's game over as far as his championship campaign is, and that is a card indecisive position, but I don't think it hampered Mike Noon too much. Perhaps a little bit of hesitancy going through that might have cost him. Let's see how he's looking through that second sector. He's only a fraction up on his previous best, and that will not be enough to propel him higher than his current 4th place, will it? So things not going well for Mike Noon. Chris Johnson coasting offline there as well, and Mike Noon on the ragged edge, not for the first time, sliding as he's underneath the baseball grandstand. So round the final corner comes Mike Noon up to the line, and he stays 4th quickest, a fractional improvement, but it's not good enough at this stage in the championship for him.
I think his lap got messed up, didn't it, by that indecisive in the way, which is so awkward for him, such an awkward place. Bossman Sean has backed out of his lap. In fact, he invalidated. That's it for him. Jack Pearson's 2 tenths up, and he's invalidated, crucially.
Yeah, that's a big error from Jack Pearson. He had a lot of time in his pocket there to at least get on the front row, and it's cost him dear. Mike Noon, by the way, is going again out there, and he's down though through the first sector. He has to go again, but his first sector is not good. It's a tenth, roughly a tenth, probably about 3/4 of a tenth down up to this point. It's all about that middle sector for Mike Noon. Chiapelli down to 10th thus far. He's not gone any further, so things looking not so bad for Chiapelli. Could have been worse as things stand, but there's still got plenty of cars to see the checkered flag. Mike Noon then, what's that middle sector looking like? It needs to be good. It's not great. Still dead level with his previous best. He's a lot better though on the entry to the stadium section. Needs to nail this, needs to keep the rear end in check as he comes up to the final corner on the road. Mike Noon pushing hard. Can he at least get this ahead of his title rival, Jack Pearson? Shortest route to the line. Yes, he can. Up into 3rd place for Mike Noon, and that is a mini victory for him.
Yeah, vital lap by Mike Noon. He's got Chris Johnson coming around the final corner as well. If he gets ahead here, he might knock Chiapelli into 11th, and he does. And Chris Johnson goes 5th to split the 2 Mercedes drivers, but this is a track that really eats up the tyres, so as good as it is for Mike Noon to get ahead of Jack, I'm not sure if a few laps down the road into this race he might regret that slightly.
Yeah, and I'll say that, he might regret that, but I think Luca Chiapelli will be very happy that he's 11th instead of 10th. He'll get fresh choice of tyres. He did qualify on mediums anyway, but he'll now get a fresh choice of either the soft or mediums, and that is a big advantage for him from P11.
Yeah, that is a huge development, and if I were him, I would take a gamble here and start on the medium tyres, although of course you do run the risk of an early safety car.
You sure do. There is your grid for the Mexican Grand Prix, round number 19 of this incredible World Championship season. It's Bossman Sean, the pole king, once again with a 1:14.3 ahead of Chris Thurgood in second. Mike Noon starts from third with his title rival Jack Pearson fourth. Chris Johnson is fifth. Sixth for Dom, seventh Blair Grills, it's eighth for Alex Zaffro. Baza ninth, and Neiljack rounds out the top 10. Luca Chiapelli, as you can see, on the fringes in P11. So, yeah, this is absolutely massive in the context of this World Championship. There is no doubt about it. This is huge. 4 rounds to go. And yeah, this is so big, so important. Can Chiapelli get ahead of his rivals? He will really want to ensure, Dan, that he goes into that final race with a reasonable cushion, with a margin for error.
Absolutely, yes. But certainly if you're a neutral, this is exactly what you wanted, isn't it? With the championship leader so far down on the grids, and well, we know what the run down to turn 1 is like here. It goes on and on and on, and Luca will have to do his best to sort of avoid the danger zone, avoid getting involved in any sort of incident. Meanwhile, at the front, we'll see if Chris Thurgood's internet can survive down to turn 1.
Well, that's a very good point, because that's been his biggest concern, hasn't it, throughout the season? So let's see if Chris Thurgood can do that again. What about Sean in the front row? But here we go, the 5 red lights coming on in TGP. 4 rounds to go. Will there be any closer to crowning a champion today? We'll find out as the lights go out. It's Bossman Sean who leads away on one of the longest runs down to turn 1 all season. Mike Noon already up to second, and Jack Pearson pulling up into third. It was a really poor getaway from Chris Thurgood on the front row. And into the first corner, it looks like Bossman Sean. Mike Noon having a dive at turn 1. One of the Mercedes there squeezed off, but fights to live for another day as they make their way through that infield section and down the second straight. DRS not active yet, but it will be soon. But it's Bossman Sean leading the way on St. Patrick's Day from Mike Noon in second and Jack Pearson third, Dan.
And Luca has got a good start. He's up to 8th, and we've got a Red Bull round. It's Baza. Baza's gone round. Luca is in 7th place, and Chris Thurgood did disconnect before the race even started. He's back in it now. He's in 5th. So I thought Luca might gain another position there easily, but not. He is in 7th place. Gained up 4 positions, though. Sam Hickey's gone from the back to 9th. He's done a Hungary. He's
done a Hungary indeed, and I wonder if it involved carnage for the other cars this time. Sam Hickman is in a flying start, and by the way, he's not finished yet. He's going side by side now with Alex Zaffro. He's not going side by side. He's through. He's gone up into 8th place already, and we've got a Williams round. That's Chris Thurgood. Yeah. Facing the wrong way, and it's a yellow flag, no sign of a safety car. This has been a disastrous start to the race for Chris Thurgood, from the front row to 15th before the lap's even completed.
Crazy stuff then, chaotic starts, and Chris Johnson looks like he might have a bit of a run here on Dom down the straight at the front. Meanwhile, is Mike Noon going to get a run on Bossman Sean? Coming towards the end of it, I think he might just hold on.
Yeah, he will. Let's have a look at Chris Johnson. He's pulling out alongside Dom Smith, not quite close enough to make that crucial move. So it's all change in the order at the start of this race. I'm just trying to find the position change. There you go. Sam Hickman up 12 places from his starting position. What? It's as if he doesn't need to qualify. That's outrageous. From the back to 7th, up 12 places already. Chris Thurgood, meanwhile, is down 13. We've got Stereogram up 5 as well. Dom Smith up 2. And the other big movers and shakers. Sir Tom Penguin is up 4 places in 13th place as well. So a few big movers and shakers at the start of this race, as we can now shuffle back to the tyres, and everyone bar Sir Tom Penguin on the softs out there, Dan.
Sam Hickey is right on Luca. Luca just went a bit wide through the S's. He got all out of shape, and he's right on him now. I wonder if Sam might fancy a go on Luca at any point here. But we've got Jack in 3rd, Mike Noon in 2nd, so it's still decent for them. But I don't think he would have expected Luca to have made up so many positions at the start.
Yeah, he's had a really, really strong start to the races, Luca, and Sam Hickman's not had the greatest exit coming out of the final corner, and that means that Luca Chiapelli, the World Championship leader, can focus his attentions on the car in front. We've got Chris Johnson, who's barely in the championship battle, and but when I say that, I mean threadbare. Down the inside goes Luca Chiapelli on Chris Johnson, and he makes it work, and that was a champion's move from the championship leader. Ballsy stuff, and he's up into 5th place.
Brilliant overtake, absolutely fantastic, clear move, and it looks like Sam Hickey might try and do the same on Chris Johnson. Now down into 10th, and Chris Johnson might be able to defend this one a little bit more. This might get a bit Bottas, Kimi Räikkönen here. They're still side by side.
They really are. Brilliant stuff, and Sam Hickman finally has to run in, and we have got a safety car deployed. I presume because of Chris Thurgood has retired or something. I'm not too sure why, but we have got a safety car here on lap 3 out of 18, and that is not great for the likes of Sir Tom Penguin on the medium. I was thinking Lucas started on the mediums, but he did opt for softs in the end. So we're going to have a safety car, and everyone, I would think, is going to pour into the pits then. But that is going to really hamper Dom Smith's Mercedes.
Yeah, this is a disaster for Dom, isn't it? And it was looking good for Mercedes, certainly in terms of the constructors, with their both Mercedes right up there. But Dom is surely going to have to queue. But as you say, everybody is going to come into the pits, and they're going to have to try and go, 15 laps on the medium tyres, which is going to be quite difficult, I have to say.
So will we see some maybe go to the hard? Dan, is it really a track where the tyres really burn up quite badly?
Well, I mean, you could go for the hard if you really wanted to. I suppose everybody else could be right as well. What have you seen, Andy?
Oh, everyone going medium, but Jack Pearson held ever so slightly there, waiting on one of the Ferraris coming into the pits. It might have lost him a little bit of time. We'll have to wait and see as they all shuffle back out onto the track. It's still Bossman Sean, Mike Noon, and then Jack Pearson comes out third. Indecisive, by the way, has not come into the pits, and he is now up in 3rd position as a result. So it's Bossman Sean from Mike Noon and Jack Pearson and Chris Johnson and Alex Zaffro. Even Tom Penguin came into the pits.
Sam Hickey made some contact with Chris Johnson as he come into the pit lane, and you've seen he got the 5-second penalty for it. That'll probably be removed, but he did get front wing damage, which is why he is he's down in 9th now, and Dom is just behind him in 10th.
Okay, so a few movers and shakers there. That's a disaster for Dom Smith, isn't he? He'll be gutted about that. It was looking really good for the Mercedes team, as you said, Dan, but not now. Dom Smith losing a handful of places, and a couple more than that, actually. And he's down to 10th position in the order. Stereogram, by the way, has gone for the hard compound. Sir Tom Penguin has gone soft. I presume he's going to just bail straight back into the pits.
Yeah.
And go back onto a set of mediums. It's a real store one, a kick in the teeth for him. Red Bull Kim, incidentally, has gone for the hard tyre. I've got to say, Red Bull Kim in the car number 70. Good to see him out there again. Didn't have a great week last week, Red Bull Kim, did he? He was spinning round on a number of occasions around the Netherlands circuit in Zandvoort. He told me after that he really didn't like the track, and he described it with a word I simply cannot use in commentary, but I think you get the idea. But he is quite the character, Red Bull Kim. I have met him before at a Grand Prix, and he's a bit crazy. Dan, I tell you, he's off his head.
Well, he did have that legendary moment earlier in the season where he hit the safety car in Monza, which provided great entertainment. But yeah, I love Red Bull Kim.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Great to have him in the series. Personality of the year a few times. Let's see what Sir Tom Penguin does. He stays out. Wow. Well, that's a brave move from the Renault man. And
I mean, there's absolutely no way he's going to go 14 laps on the soft tyres unless he's installed a cheat in the game, I suppose. Yeah,
well, he does work for Formula One. Perhaps some sabotage down there at Formula One management from Sir Tom Penguin, who knows? But I'd be shocked and appalled if he gets that to the end of the race. By the way, I am going to have to get to the front door again, Dan, and I'll tell you why. Right, I'm just going to tell all of yours this. I've got one of my neighbours at the front door, and it's because the cat is on the roof. The neighbour's cat is on the roof. It does this every other night. So,
right.
Excuse me for 2 minutes. The neighbour's cat is on my roof. 2 minutes.
Okay. That's one of the strangest reasons to have to leave the commentary box, isn't it? I don't think Murray Walker have to deal with situations like this, although of course famously he did not get on very well with James Hunt, of course. But anyway, we are going to get ready for a safety car restart. I assume it's going to be at the end of this lap. Bossman Sean ahead of the field still. He's managed to hold off everybody in this race so far, and you can see him right behind the safety car at the moment, although actually, of course, because Andy's directing coverage, I'm not entirely sure what you are seeing right now. We've got 18 cars still left in this race, and is that Andy?
Yeah.
Has he rescued the cat already?
Yes, yeah, well, I went upstairs and my mother is up there rescuing the cat from the roof, so it's all good, cat dealt with.
Okay.
Anything can happen at TGP2, folks, and it usually does. Anyway, back to the action. Apologies for that, everyone. We have got Bossman Sean in the lead of this race with Mike Noon second. Indecisive, by the way, is third, and he's going to be acting almost as a rear gunner for his teammate here. Perhaps that's the plan. Obviously, Mike Noon's going to have a chance. And Mike Noon, look at this. He's saying, get on with it, Sean. I want to get this race going. I want to push for this World Championship. And finally, we do get underway. And look at Mike Noon then. This is very, very important for the outcome of this race. Is he going to be close enough for a run down to turn one? He won't be. But Jack Pearson certainly is attacking. He's already attacking Indecisive, who's a bit slow on those tyres. And he dives down the inside, does Jack Pearson. And he gets it done. Vital move there for the Mercedes man. And we now have the two of the three title contenders in the top 3 places.
That was so important for Jack to get that move done ASAP. And it looks like Chris Johnson might be about to do the same. Look at Alex Zaffro as well, because he thought he was going to get the pair of them there. He's certainly going to get one of them. He's going to get Indecisive.
Oh, really, really elbows out stuff from Alex Zaffro. He's off the road, but he might have got the job done on Indecisive, and he has got it done. All the racetrack and more being used there by Alex Zaffro, but does he care? Not a bit of it. And he's through, and we've got all sorts of mayhem there. All the cars really slowing down, and is Luca Chiapelli involved in that? I think he might be. Has he got any damage from it all? I think he has.
Just avoided. Oh, big crash! Big crash with Blair Grills. Indecisive was coming back on the track, and Blair Grills has gone into the wall.
Blair Grills in the wall, but I can tell you now, Luca Chiapelli did pick up damage and all that. He has got an end fence with some serious damage on it. The left side of Luca Chiapelli's car has got no end plate, and he's going to have to crawl round for the remainder of this race with a damaged car. Disaster for the World Championship leader. Drama in TGP2 of the highest order, Dan.
Wow. Well, I suppose he has a little bit of a buffer at the minute. A Magic Poop Cannon there in 7th place. Dom is going to have to try and get past him as soon as possible. But I did not see that happen. But yeah, I can see now visibly the damage with my eyes on the screen. Luca Chiapelli is going to go to the... Well, there's really any point in them pitting again. I don't think there's another safety car.
We've got another safety car here, folks, and I presume it's because of that Blair Grills incident and debris all over the racetrack. Now then, does Luca Chiapelli pit this time round?
Indecisive's crash at the exit of turn 3, I think, which has caused that. But wow, I can't remember the last time we had 2 full safety cars in a TGP race. And as you say, we'll see if Luca decides to pit at this point. Is it? I mean, I suppose it would be a risk to stay out and just risk losing a load of positions with the damage. But how bad is the damage?
Yeah, well, it looks like the entire end plate's gone, Dan. For me, that's a pit stop. That is a pit stop. But, I mean, if you pit now, you've got fresher tyres as well, and you can come back through the field. So, let's see what Luca does. This is going to be a massive call in his quest for this championship. A massive moment in this race and championship. Bossman Sean will carry on. Mike Noon will carry on. Jack Pearson will surely carry on. He does. Alex Zaffro into the pits as well.
Coming in.
Has he got damage?
I think Alex has got damage. Yeah, Alex got damage with Indecisive earlier on in that lap. And so we've got Chiapelli in as well. Stereogram, is that Luca? Magic Poop Cannon. So Tom Penguin in the pits as well.
We're going to have a queue down at Formula 1 management. Look at this. Sir Tom Penguin and Alex Zaffro in the pit lane queuing together. What an absolute disaster for the Renault team.
Yeah, the AlphaTauri's at a queue as well.
Unbelievable. Look at Chiapelli gets away. We're finally seeing Sir Tom Penguin get into his pit box. What an absolute shambles down at Renault. And I can tell you now, all the Penguins watching on the South Pole will be looking on with disbelief as Sir Tom Penguin sits there in the garage, motionless as the mechanics get to work. Oh, it's an absolute disaster.
So Sam Hickey pitted on the last lap, so he's gained a few positions after that. He's up into 11th place now as Alex Zaffro comes out in 12th. And look, you can see everybody who pitted there has gone onto the soft tyres.
Tell you what, I could hear Murray Walker in my ear saying, "This is ludicrous," and Martin Brundle screaming, "Stick it on and get him out." I mean, unbelievable stuff. down at Renault. Absolute shambles in the pit lane. But we're on lap 8, and where have we got? We've got Chiapelli rejoining in 10th as a result. That is, you know, that's actually worked out really well.
You know what? Yeah, I mean, if he's going to now start absolutely flying on these soft tyres, of course, you don't really know what his true quality pace was because he crashed out. But you have to imagine he's quicker than Red Bull Kim and Bazza and Stereogram, certainly ahead. So, I mean, I have to say, this is looking pretty decent now for Luca. And who knows what kind of state the tyres will be in for Mike Noon and Jack Pearson towards the end of this race.
Yeah, almost as if this safety car has landed Luca with an incredible opportunity to do way better than the initial 6th place he was looking on for with that wing damage. Wow.
Yeah, it was definitely the right decision to pit.
Absolutely, and with so many cars behind coming in, you know, it now begs the question whether the top 6 have made a mistake.
Well, if I was at the top 6 at this point in this race, and certainly if I was in the lead, I don't think I would have pitted this time round.
Yeah,
I think it would have.
Yeah, it would have been strange. Yeah, you're right. It would just percentage game track position. You stay out front, don't you?
Yeah, but you know, maybe we're only halfway through this race, and I think the safety car is going to be in this lap, and there won't be any other safety car or virtual safety car in this race now, and they're going to have to try and hold on for these medium tyres, which have already done 4 laps to the end of the race. And Luca, tyres don't go off too quick, should be charging through the field.
Well, that's my next question, Dan. Will those soft tyres last long enough? Will they even last to the end quite comfortably? That's half a race distance on those tyres, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So I suppose maybe that might be pushing it on those soft tyres as well, but we'll see what happens. Sam Hickey as well, just behind Luca once again in 11th place. We'll see if he can fight his way back through the field again as well.
I tell you what, see if I was looking, I would maybe have put a set of mediums on. I think what Sam Hickman's done and Magic Poopcan has done, going to mediums mid-race, is probably the optimum strategy at that pit stop. Would you agree? The safer one,
I think you could be right. Yeah, for 9 laps to the end. Yeah, if the safety car came out a few laps later, it might have been better to go on the softs, but the safety car is about to come in, and the pack are all beginning to bunch up once again. Let's see how close Mike Noon gets to Bossman Sean this time round.
Yeah, well, he was almost, waving the hands out the cockpit last time round. Come on, Sean, get a move on it. He's almost doing it again. And Sean this time jumps when Mike's busy. Mike's losing the rear end, and Bossman Sean will get away now. Thankfully for Mike Noon, Jack Pearson is not too hot on his heels, and they're racing once again here at Mexico City. Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, and we're heading across the start-finish line, and it's Bossman Sean from Mike Noon and Jack Pearson in 3rd. Have we got any slipstreaming down the straight? We do. We have got Stereogram attacking Bazza into turn 1. Almost going to the
Luca's going for 9th. And Luca's got 9th place ahead of Red Bull Kim.
Yeah, so good move there from Luca. I've got a lot of lag here, folks, but we're back underway now, and Red Bull Kim is dropped to 10th place, and now his teammate Sam Hickman is on him. But ahead of that, look at Chiapelli having a little look and getting ahead, is he, of one of the Alpha Tauris? No, not the Alpha Tauri, sorry, the Racing Point of Stereogram. So he's
Racing
up to
Point of Stereogram, so
he's up to 8th, yeah.
2 positions made up then in half a lap, or 1 sector even for Luca, and he's right on the back of Bazza now as well. He thought about having a go there.
Yeah, he's absolutely flying, and that's pretty predictable given the state of the tyres he's on compared to the others. And Bazza are really struggling, and Luca now is clambering all over the back of that Red Bull and demanding a path through and up into 7th place. He can't quite get it done through there, and at the minute he'll just have to bide his time. But you know what, this is turning into a potential, I wouldn't say victory just yet, but a chance at a podium at the very least here for Luca Chiapelli if he gets these moves done quickly, Dan. Isn't that right?
Oh, definitely, yeah. But of course, I should say another thing with this race with the amount of safety cars is, of course, it means that we haven't really got too many penalties at the moment in terms of corner cutting, but that could change, I suspect, in a later stage of this race. Look at Alex Zaffro and Sam Hickey here.
Before we go to that,
they've
got look at Chiapelli through and up a position as we go down back to Sam Hickman getting ahead. I've got so much lag here. Sam Hickman 9th, Stereogram 10th, and now Alex Zaffro on the attack of Stereogram, and he's not quite close enough to make the move. Here he goes down the outside. Can he get it done? Stereogram covers that inside line. Alex Zaffro with a lovely little switcheroo, and he can't quite get it done. Will he get it through now? Yes, he will. And I'm just going to pause a sec, Dan, to see if I've got any downloads going on here, because this is almost unwatchable at the minute. 2 seconds. None.
Throw gets a penalty. Luca is nearly just dropped it as he was gaining on Neljak at the final part of the S's there. He's half a second behind now, and surely down the straight he will be straight on Neljak as well.
Yeah, he's on the back of him now. I had a little look there, but we've got no downloads going at the minute on the PlayStation, so not too sure why we're having lag, so apologies for that, folks, as Luca already passing Neljak before they even start going down the straight, and he'll get DRS as well for good measure to just pull alongside and clear down that start-finish straight. He's not even getting it yet. DRS is enabled, but not quite yet. It'll be the next lap, or the next DRS activation they go through, and down the inside, look at Chiapelli up into 6th place, and now the chase begins, Dan, doesn't it?
It does indeed, but Neljak had a lot of VRS there and didn't decide to use it down the straight. I thought he might have tried to fight back, but maybe he just realised that it wasn't really worth fighting Luca this time round. I think there's an instance at the back with Seton Penguin. It is indeed. He's now in last place. Sam Hickey gets past Baza for 8th place.
Yeah, so Sam Hickey making those medium tyres work, and Baza doing everything he can in the hards, but really struggling for pace and grip. And now Alex Zafro should be all over him and threatening to make a move.
Oh!
He's on softs. What are you seeing?
Luca nearly dropped it, the first part of the S's, and he will be very thankful that there's a run-off area there, because if there was a gravel trap, he would have gone straight into the barrier.
Oh, pressure telling on Luca Chiapelli's face. What a thrilling end to this World Championship we have. But Luca Chiapelli's best friend right now is boss man Sean, isn't it? He's taking points off his two big rivals, Mike Noon and Jack Pearson. Imagine it was 1-2 for them.
Yeah, exactly, and it's 2.5 seconds the lead as well that Bossman Sean has. It's pretty heavy lead for Bossman Sean at the moment. Luca has got DRS now to use on Dom, but he's got absolutely no ERS left. He's totally drained the battery.
He's drained the battery, going for the early attack, and soon those soft tyres will be past their sell-by date as well, just to add to the drama. So let's see how this pans out for Luca Chiapelli as he heads down the next straight. He'll not make the move on this particular lap. It'll need to be down the next straight because it's very difficult to pass in this middle sector. It's almost single file, and the dirty air will hurt the car as well.
It will indeed, and he's about to come up to the... this is the corner now that he's approaching, where he very nearly dropped it last time round. We'll see if he can get through it safely this time. Yes, he does. That's far more calmer, far more safe around there for Luca Chiapelli. And in fact, it was Dom who was getting a little bit out of shape there. And I tell you what, he's going to have DRS. Luca down into the stadium section. This is where he crashed earlier, but can't go for a move just yet. But he's going to be right on Dom now, surely, with DRS this time round.
Yeah, he's all over the back of Dom.
Oh, he's hit him!
He's hit him! Dom Smith gets a little clip in the rear from Luca Chiapelli. Has Luca damaged that wing? I don't think he has. I think he got away with it. But now down the start-finish straight, he'll be lining up for a move, surely. He's got no ERS at all. Dom Smith defending with very little ERS as well. But I've got to say, I think he's got this one covered down the straight. He's got no speed at all in a straight line, does Luca Chiapelli.
Yeah, look at that. It just wasn't closing in at all. It was like he was just driving into a wall there. He just could not gain at all on Dom.
Maybe this time though he's got a fantastic exit on those fresher, grippier soft tyres. Dom Smith senses the danger. Luca watches as Dom covers the inside. Luca tries to sweep right round the outside, and that's absolutely magnificent from Luca Chiapelli, the World Championship leader, showing what champions are made from, and that was excellent. He passes Dom Smith and makes a vital move, but as vital as that is, we've got a vital thing happening at the front. Bossman Sean, 3-second time penalty, and that places Mike Noon in the position he needs to be in to take maximum points away from Luca Chiapelli this afternoon.
Absolutely what he needs, yeah. It will be a 15-point swing in Mike Noon's favour if he was to win this race now, and he just had to stay within 3 seconds. It stayed around about 2.5 seconds, so it's looking good, you have to say, as Neljak gets ahead of Sam Hickey for 7th place.
Oh, big move there for Neljak, getting ahead of Sam Hickman. But this is all about the front now and the battle that goes on there. Let's shuffle back to Sam Hickman as he and Neljak do battle. We've got Alex Zafro on those softs just behind, not making as much progress, but here comes Sam Hickman pulling out from behind that racing point. He's on the inside, he's way past, he's long gone, and Sam Hickman is up into 7th, and now he can focus his attentions on Dom Smith.
Sam desperately trying to hold on to have some sort of say in this championship fight. Should mention Chris Johnson, who's had a relatively quiet race, but he's still keeping up there in 4th place. You've got a yellow flag out. I think that's Mr. John's gone off. Sam Hickey's going round the outside of Dom Smith here. He might get it done twice to him in 1 lap.
Oh, unbelievable. Sam Hickman now. Oh, wonderful stuff. Just like Chiapelli did, but he's gone too deep. And Dom Smith slobbers back up the inside. The fans are on their feet down there. There's a massive grandstand, and they're absolutely loving it. Great stuff from Dom Smith. He thought the moment was gone. He just slithered back underneath Sam Hickman, and he's back through, but now Dom goes wide. Oh, way out of shape, and Sam Hickman just dives back underneath him. Unbelievable racing here in TGP2 on lap 15 out of 18, and Sam Hickman, the youngster, does what the World Championship leader Luca Chiapelli did a lap ago, and Dom Smith once again left standing still.
And Alex Afro gets past Neljak as well in the stadium section. They were all over the place when he made the move. Brilliant stuff.
I missed that one, but interestingly, 2.93 seconds for the gap between Boss Panchon and Mike Noon. Mike Noon, get your finger out, sunshine. You need to stay within 3 seconds of that car. Vital for his championship aspirations.
This is beginning to remind me of last week in the Netherlands with Jack and Mike Noon. It essentially came down to time and a time trial style race, and that's what it looks like this could be for the final 2 laps. And as you say again, look, it's 3.003 seconds right now. It's so close between them.
It is so close. Fine margins decide World Championships, folks, and that could be the case here again. We're not deciding a championship today, but this result could decide the destiny of where that World Championship is going. No doubt about it. We'll get yellow flags out there again at the middle sector. I think it's M-Shep
McLaren
that's gone for a spin.
Yeah.
So M-Shep going backwards further down through the field, but Dom Smith really struggling for pace now, and now his work colleague Alex Zafro is looking for bragging rights in the office environment. He's gaining and gaining and gaining on the back of Dom Smith as they make their way into the stadium section, and all the fans are on their feet because they know this is a pretty big rivalry.
Should say that Alex Zafro does have a 9-second penalty. I think 5 seconds of that is, for a collision under the safety car, so if that's true, that will probably get removed. But yeah, we'll see if we can have a go down here. Meanwhile, Chris Johnson is ever closer to Jack Pearson as well.
Wow.
In 3rd place. Jack's got to make sure he doesn't lose that position.
Wow, that would be incredible. And if that does happen, look at Chiapelli will only lose, 3 points to Jack Pearson. So this is huge.
Yeah.
This is enormous. The remaining lap and a half of this Mexican Grand Prix is a vital moment in this World Championship race. Make no mistake about it, folks. Get on the edge of your seats and enjoy the remaining lap and a half. Look at the gap at the front. It's barely under 3 seconds. Barely by millimetres.
Oh, he's gone off! Boss Panchon's gone off! And he's all over the run-off ahead here, but he's lost half a second.
Oh, he's lost a massive amount of time. My timings are froze, folks. I apologise. I'm going to have to get them off a second, but it still says 2.9 for me. What is the gap?
Well, it's 1.8. It's 1.8, and that moment for Bossman Sean may well have just cost them the Grand Prix.
Massive moment there for Bossman Sean. Massive moment of joy for Mike Noon, though, on the other hand. That is enormous news for him. Absolutely enormous. Bossman Sean, there we go. We've got it back. 2 seconds between he and Mike Noon, and that almost invites Jack Pearson within 3 seconds. Almost.
Final lap, final chance really for Chris Johnson to have a go at Jack Pearson. He's right on him, but he can't make it stick. Jack Pearson goes slightly wide.
Here we go. Alex Zafro and Dom Smith down to turn one. Vital move between the two work colleagues. Alex Zafro down the inside on Dom Smith as he threw. Doesn't look like it. Yes, he is. Jack and Chris down into the braking zone. Jack Pearson ahead, barely. Chris Johnson right round the outside, and that is absolutely sensational stuff from Chris Johnson. That's better than the two we've seen previously.
And another penalty for Bossman Sean. That's it. It's over for him now.
And that puts Jack Pearson up an extra place. It will also put Luca up another place.
He's only 2 tenths behind Jack now. He's closed right in on the last lap.
Oh, and he's got DRS as well. And he's gaining and gaining and gaining into the stadium section. He's going down the inside. Oh, this is unbelievable. All the fans rise to their feet on this final lap in the stadium section as they all battle. Bossman Sean's going to see the flag first. Forget that. Mike Noon's going to win it on the road. Who's going to win between these two? Jack Pearson just by an inch and no more. Mike Noon wins the race, Jack Pearson second, and look at Chiapelli gets himself onto the podium. Unbelievable.
So after all that, it was the top three in the championship who finished on the podium. Brilliant stuff.
What is going on? What is going on? What a race we've just witnessed here, by the way. Stereogram still battling away with Sir Tom Penguin in the final corner, but it's Sir Tom Penguin that gets 15, Stereogram 16, Red Bull Kim last of the finishers. What a race. We said it in qualifying. Mike Noon needs a win. He's got to win, and that puts him right back in the championship picture. Jack Pearson second, Luca Chiapelli. A miracle of miracles to finish that race in third, but it's job done for him. Damage limitation, I suppose, and I think after the race he had, he'll take it.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, but wow, I mean, I don't think really Mike Noon would have expected Luca to enter finishing third in that race, but what an incredible final lap that was, and I will work out the championship standings and bring them to you in a moment.
Absolutely wild stuff. But it's Mike Noon who takes the victory in some style. What a wild race. Bossman Sean, penalties become his undoing once again. But look at that, it's Bossman Sean, it's Mike Noon, the victor here today with a fine result, completing the podium. The two other men in this championship battle, Jack Pearson second and Luca Chiapelli third. What's great about it, Dan, is they finish in reverse order of the championship, just closing it up all the sweeter, exactly what we want. There is your final results then of the Mexican Grand Prix. It's Mike Noon who takes the victory for Red Bull Racing with Jack Pearson second, some 2.4 off. Look at Chiapelli, 2/10 away from denying Jack Pearson in third, with Bossman Sean's penalties costing him dear. Chris Johnson picked up 3 seconds himself, and he'll be hurting after that. Sam Hickman came home in 6th. 7th for Dom Smith, he got ahead of Alex Zaffro, who dropped back with penalties. It was Neil Jack 8th and Baza 9th. Alex Zaffro did in the end finish 10th. Blair Grylls 11th was Mr. John in 12th, with Magic Pook Cannon finishing in 13th. Sir Tom Penguin only 14th after a disaster in the pit stops for Renault. 15th for M-Ship, and 16th was Stereogram. What a wild, wild, wild race, Dan.
So Mike Noon, of course, Jack Pearson, went into this race 19 points behind Luca. Of course, now he's just gained 3 points there, so it's 16. And Mike Noon gains 10 points on Luca, so he is now 29 points back. So it's Luca on 309, Jack Pearson on 293, and Mike Noon on 280. So yeah, it was sort of the perfect result, wasn't it? With again, if you're a neutral fan, with the top 3 finishing in reverse order in the championship.
Wow. So just say that again. Just clarify once again, Dan, what we're talking in the championship.
So right now it is going to be a 16-point gap between Luca and Jack. Luca's on 309, Jack's on 293, and then Mike Noon is now on 280. So he's 29 points back.
29. 29 between the 3 championship rivals with 3 races to go. This is epic. What a fantastic way this is turning out, but we keep saying it, don't we? Look at, even when he's a bad race, Dan, he just churns out a result, and that's enough at the minute. 3 more third places will probably be enough for him, you would think.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, when Mike Noon's had bad races this season, I'm thinking the likes of Canada and Hungary, you know, when those races, they were bad races, and they were really, really, really bad races for Mike Noon, but somehow Luca always seems to just find something, doesn't he, and manages to find something extra, and that's certainly what he done in that race there in Mexico, and was almost getting past Jack on the final lap.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I mean, he's such a fighter, isn't he? Look, he just sticks in there. But I've got to say, he was very fortunate with the safety car, wasn't he? That really did help him out today. Make no mistake about that. That he was heading for 6th at best there, you would feel, wouldn't you?
Yeah, because he had that damage as well, didn't he? So he would have had to go the rest of the race with the damage, but managed to avoid that. So certainly luck does play a factor, but I think you make your own luck, to be honest, most of the time. And it's worked for Luca this time round. We'll see if it works for him in Azerbaijan, which should be a very exciting race. Yeah,
it is a really exciting race, and we should talk about that briefly. Obviously, on the second race of the night, we always do a little track guide, don't we? Interestingly, tonight, Dan, there's a little bit of disagreement in the commentary box, isn't there? You're a fan of Mexico, I'm not. You don't like Azerbaijan, but I don't mind it. I think it's a decent track. I think it's one of the. I think it's a really nice street track. I think there's something about it that's got character. It's not like your Valencias, your Vietnams, your Sochis. It's not dull and boring. There's actually a little bit of character about it, a challenge about it, but it's an enjoyable challenge in my eyes, Dan. I just think there's something about this venue that Herman Tilke and Formula One have got right.
I agree with you on that point, but it's really to drive. I just really absolutely hate. It's just I just can't ever seem to get a decent lap around here. It's the middle sector. I just seem to lose a ton of time in the middle sector, and I cannot understand why.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. It's a real challenge, and that middle sector especially, and not even only the middle sector, Dan. I would say those long straights, picking that braking point is very difficult because the track's lined with barriers both sides. There's not many reference points as such when you're going at over 210 miles an hour into a braking zone. You know, you come off that final real corner on the racetrack, you've got the longest run in the whole calendar, full throttle, from the exit of that corner at the start of the third sector all the way to turn one. You know, that's like a little bit longer than La Source to the end of the Kemmel Straight. You know, so spotting that braking point can be so difficult, can't it?
And it can also often, that big straight at the end can lead to some incredible finishes across the line. It happened yesterday with me and my Ferrari teammate, Phil Bargewell, where we were side by side crossing the line, and I would not be surprised at all to see that at some point, somewhere in the order, this race as well, you can get that final ERS out the car and DRS deployed and just getting a position at the very end, a bit like Lance Stroll and Bottas as well a few years back.
Yep, so the car's coming out onto the racetrack then, and it's a very busy track at the end of the session. I've got a Williams round already. Chris Thurgood was off the track there, but maybe it's lag, I don't know. No, it isn't lag, there you go. Off down at turn 2 straight away, but he's back out and on the track, and all the cars pouring out to get some laps on the board, Dan, very early on, and you can see why, because...
Oh, he's gone off again. Chris has gone off again.
Oh, for goodness sake, Chris. Does he need a... does he want a map? Does he want a map round the track? Goodness sake.
I think he's just testing out reverse gear, and it certainly works, thankfully.
Goodness me, I thought he was going to go full-on Raccoonathan on us there, but
yeah,
not quite. But he's back underway, and we've got another car off. Red Bull Kim, was it? Or was... I saw a car...
Yeah, I just seen that in the corner of my eye on the screen. I'm not sure who it was.
Sam Hickman,
and whoever it was, I think we've got away with it, have they already?
Yeah, Sam Hickman. So, 2 cars in the opening 3 corners, missing corners. Unbelievable. But Sam Hickman back underway again.
Sorry, Blair Grills has got damage. He's got front wing damage. So I wonder if he's got involved with an instance as well. He's going to have to come in and pit, surely.
Yeah,
he's missing a bit of his front wing.
He's barely even through the first sector yet as well. So a lot of drivers struggling to get to grips with this track. Maybe a lack of grip out there. It is, of course, the streets, and of course they will get quite dusty when the other cars are out there. The road cars, and when people are walking around. So not too sure what's happened. But no surprise to see the majority of cars out on the track, Dan, because it is a track that you need to dial yourself into, isn't it? I mean, it's so difficult to get right, and you need to dial yourself in, get your senses up. A bit like Monaco, a bit like Singapore, isn't it, in that sense?
It is, and even Luca has decided not to go with medium tyres for the first lap this time round, as of course he usually does do. He's on the softs. Bazza is on the mediums, though. Bazza's going for the mediums, so fair play to him.
Okay, so Baz has gone for mediums, fair play. We've got Magic Puckpat Cannon in the pits on mediums too. But Bossman Shot starting a flying lap round here. He started one. Let's pick someone else up then who's out there. Let's go with Sam Hickman then, Dan, for a little lap around this racetrack. Down towards that turn 1. As I said, so difficult to spot that braking point, isn't it?
It is, and well, it can also be quite difficult to actually hit the apex as well. It can be, but once again, turn 2, and there's a car off there straight ahead, but Sam's done well to avoid that, and really the first 3 turns are pretty similar, aren't they?
Yeah, they're all very similar, all 90-degree left-handers, but especially turn 1 and 3, getting the braking zone right, so tricky, and it's especially into that turn 3, you need to carry that momentum through the corner to take you down to this turn 4. And what do you make of this? You see you lose time through this part of the lap, Dan. This is so tricky, isn't it?
Yeah, I just can't work out how much curve you're supposed to take through there, or if you're supposed to take any at all. That's the corner I always seem to lose time at. And Sam Hickey's going to be losing time here. Oh, as the Ferrari gets out the way in turn 7, and then the famous castle section.
So tight, the tightest part of the entire Formula 1 calendar. Bennett there, and you can end up with several cars joining you. But it's such an iconic part of the racetrack. Great backdrop as well. Some of the photographers you see take photos in real life, and look at that sweeping high-speed left-handers. Not something you'd associate with a street circuit. Tell you what, this is what you call traffic, isn't it? Sam Hickman not having the best of times, negotiating his way through the traffic, down the inside, making a move on this lap. And then
oh, he's been overtaken again.
A decisive pack underneath him. Brilliant stuff here. It's like the race, unbelievable. And then through these sweepers, Dan, and up to the line. And this is what you were talking about earlier. That run to the line. It's quite the fight on the final lap if you find yourself in a drag race, isn't it?
It is indeed, and I thought he was going to get a bit of a tow, but it looks like he's going to abandon this lap. It's been a bit too messy for him, and instead he's going to come into the pit lane. Red Bull Kim has done a 2:15.
Oh, go on, Red Bull Kim, setting the timing screens alight with a 2:15. Excellent lap there by Red Bull Kim, well inside 107%. Let's have a little look at this gap to the leader, 36 seconds, and he's gone off. Where's Red Bull Kim going? I tell you what, I know where Red Bull Kim's going. He's parking up, and the Danish Viking is getting his traditional dress on, and he's heading down to the nearest bar. That's where he's going. Red Bull Kim, I'm getting out of the commentary box, and I'll get you down there, my friend. Oh, Red Bull Kim, I think he's already had a couple of Carlsbergs tonight, going by this performance. Unbelievable.
Very strange, but I'm sure he'll get a proper lap in eventually as he finally gets underway again. Who else do we have on a lap at the moment? I'm not really sure. We have Mike Toon on an out lap, so he didn't get a lap in. Did he invalidate early on, I wonder?
Perhaps he did. Let's pick him up then on that out lap. Bossman Sean's now quickest from Luca Chiapelli. Jack Pearson is third. Who else we got out there on a hot lap? Jack Pearson going quickly again. Third on that first run. Or has he bailed out? Yeah, he's bailed out of this one. This is
yeah,
lap.
Jack Pearson's down as well. I don't think there's many people on an actual lap right now. Say Tom Penguin looked like he was on a lap, but he's just hit the wall coming into turn 2.
Yeah, he's got really damaged that wing, so he'll be coming straight back into the pits and abandoning that one. Alex Zaffro, oh, he's on a lap. And thankfully he's 15 seconds up on his previous best, because his previous best is 17.8 off. Has he been drinking with Red Bull Kim? Perhaps he has, but anyway, across the line comes Alex Zaffro. What's it going to be to open his account properly for the session? It's 6th place at a 1:41.5, so that's a little bit more respectable from Alex Zaffro, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not bad in the end, I suppose, for Alex Zaffro, and he'll be coming back into the pits now. As Chris Thurgood, did he rejoin the session? I don't think he has yet, has he? But he did disconnect after having his 2 offs early on in the session. Hopefully he can get back in. Mike Nguyen is about to start his lap, I think. And again, 29 points now behind the championship leader. And another pole position, I think, would do him very, very nicely indeed.
Yep, absolutely vital. No doubt about it. 10 points chomped out of the lead that Luca Chiapelli had. Cut it down to 29. And going into the final week, you want to have it in your own hands. By that I mean get within 14 points. So if you win both races, no matter what he does, you are going to win the championship. So the plan here is it's going to be difficult to get it down to within 14, but that's got to be Mike's aim, to try and at least win the race and put pressure on Luca.
100%, yeah, I think absolutely right. And it says he's gone purple in the first sector. This is the tricky turn 5 and 6, and then headed into turn 7, which is just ridiculously tight. But he's got through there, and then of course the absolutely incredibly tight castle section. Don't hit the wall, and he doesn't hit the wall, and that looks, I have to say, this looks like a very tidy lap so far.
Yeah, looking very, very tidy indeed from Mike Noon out there on this soft compound tyre. He knows his championship hinges on a good result here. 29 points back, can't be falling any further back going into that last race, or he's last weekend, or he's pretty much an outsider through the middle sector. He goes 15.4 through there. So up towards the line will go Mike Noon with that Red Bull Renault engine singing its heart out. Honda engine, I should say. Round the final few slalom kinks. And now a run towards the start-finish line for Mike Noon. Target time of Bossman Sean, a 1 minute 39.383. What's it going to be from Mike Noon? Can he dip into the 1 minute 38? Not quite. It's going to be a 39.8. And that's enough to go third quickest. But concerningly for him, quite a distance off. Look at Chiapelli's opening effort, isn't it?
Yeah, 4 tenths behind Luca, but he is ahead of Jack, so I suppose that's a possible crumb of comfort for him, as Chiapelli's just coming out the pit lane now to start it for his next run, and a lot of the drivers are all coming out now on their outlap. Look at Dom Smith on his outlap here. He's getting a nice little toe on the Alfa Romeo, I think, to start his lap. I'm not sure who that is ahead of him. Is that Bossman Sean? It is.
It's clever.
So nice little, nice toe for Dom at the start of this lap, but don't really then want to make sure you get too close to the car ahead through the twisty bits.
Oh, and out the way jumps Bossman Sean as Sam Hickman pops up into second position. Only half a tenth away from the top time from Bossman Sean. So the front row at the minute occupied by true drivers, just as it was last time out in Mexico, who aren't in the championship picture. Unbelievable. Dom Smith there, got to say that's clever, picking up that toe from Bossman Sean, even if he follows him round, because he knows Bossman Sean's quicker than him. So it makes sense. I mean, Dan, I think you've been the victim of that from a few drivers this season, if not one of them being me. I'm pretty sure I did this to you a few times.
Yes, yeah, indeed. I wondered if Dom and Bossman Sean have come to some sort of agreement here, and Bossman Sean's going to go for a push lap next time round, and of course then Dom will be able to give Bossman Sean the toe at the start of the lap. Dom making his way through the end of the cash section now, and on the way through turn 13. I love this corner. This is the one plus I have to say driving this track. I absolutely love this corner. And then there's this strange turn 15 where you can actually hop across that curb, which Dom elects not to do, but you do it at a great risk, because if you do that you can quite easily end up in the wall. But he is up on this lap.
Yeah, I've got to say, turn 15 is absolutely awful. Turn 13 and 14, epic. I mean, for a street track to have corners like that, it's just so good. I mean, the first sector, it's a lot of 90-degree lefts and rights, as you'd expect on a street track. But from the middle to the end, it just does not feel like a traditional street track. It's a bit like Monaco in the sense that it's different, and I love that. As Dom Smith goes up into 6th position, just in behind his teammate Jack Pearson. It's a street track with character, and that's what I really like about it, especially that middle and final sector.
I mean, like I said, I enjoy watching this track on the TV, and it does certainly have character, and certainly is unique with the castle and etc. But just to drive is just so awkward for me on this game. Just the curbs are just so strange. I don't know what it is. It's just can never really get a perfect lap in. Jack Pearson certainly had the perfect turn 15 there. And what's this going to be now? He is 1:15.1. That's very quick for the middle sector, and he's going to have a lovely toe with stereogram at the end of the lap.
This is a massive, massive gain for Jack Pearson getting a slipstream here. This could put him out of reach from the others, because they're probably not going to get this kind of slipstream. Stereogram moving left and right to try and avoid giving me it, but it's too late. Jack Pearson is going to dip into the 1 minute 38, surely with this lap time, well into the 38. It's a 1:39.3, and that is enough for pole position with the virtue of that toe from that racing point. That's a huge moment in the championship.
I wonder if Jack had some...
Hold on, look at Chiapelli. Sorry, Dan, he's also flying. He's around 2 tenths up on his previous best, but he does not have that toe. Will it be a factor as they run to the line? This is going to be fractions of a second, less than a tenth, I think. This will be so close. Oh, he's done it by 400ths of a second ahead of Jack Pearson. What a time from Luca Chiapelli, and with 5 minutes to go, he now has the upper hand. Incredible.
Brilliant stuff, and it's going to get one more run in. I was going to say, I wonder if Jack had a bit of flashbacks to last weekend in Russia when he went straight into the back of the Ferrari as he was getting the toe or stereogram at the end of the lap there. But, well, we thought it worked for him, and well, it did, because it got him off the grid a little bit. But Luca has just come along and gone ahead once again now, the championship leader. Mike New, meanwhile, is back in the pits, 5th place. He needs one hell of a final lap.
Tell you what, Tom Penguin's putting together a nice couple of sectors here. He really is. What's he going to do? He's half a second up on his previous best, so a chance to move up into 11th place. Let's keep an eye on the Penguin, the man, of course, from the South Pole. All those penguins watching at home on the glaciers. If they even have TVs down there, hoping for a strong result from their main man as he heads towards the line now. Waddling his way to the line just like a penguin. Where's he going to go? P11 just in behind his teammate, a couple of tenths between them. And Tom Penguin being carried along nicely here. You know, Alex Zafro has improved in recent weeks, Zafro, but Tom Penguin showing that he can cling to his coattails, and that's a good effort.
Yeah, definitely. It's got a bit of a field spread at the minute, though, which isn't really a surprise, I suppose, with this track. And Mr. John is out, and is that in the pit lane that he's out? I think it might be, which is a bit strange. Maybe just choosing not to go for the lap around here, a quali lap, and I'm pretty sure Luca is about to dive into the pit lane now to prepare for this final run.
He sure is. So look into the pit lane then to prepare for that run, as you say. So who we got out there on the lap then at the minute? Alex
Zafro just starting a lap. Yeah.
Yeah, the Renault's getting plenty of coverage this afternoon, aren't they? In qualifying, timing their runs at the right time to get ultimate sponsorship. So here we go then. Alex Zafro down that long straight and into the braking zone, and he's really braking hard there. Gets to the apex, should maybe try and carry more speed, stay away from that curb, Dan, but you say that's correct?
Well, I try to just avoid the curbs pretty much altogether on this lap, but I have to say it's quite difficult to do sometimes. Definitely avoid this one on the right hand side there, which is what he does.
That was tidy.
And again, this is looking like a tidy lap so far, yeah.
It was really tidy. I felt he would get too close to the curb at turn 3, but since then it's looked really tidy indeed from Alex Zafro. Maybe not as committed as he could have been through the castle section, and then a little bit wide there, but all in all it's a reasonable lap. You can see what the time loss is though, relative to, you know, the top guys. That's why we're 2 seconds down, but in general it's tidy, and being tidy around here can reward you. So let's see if Alex Zafro is threatening to move up the order with this effort. Let's see how he's looking through the timing beam. Should be an improvement, and it is an improvement, and by quite some way. 1.3 improvement here.
But he's 7/10 off Luca at the front, so this is really good stuff from Alex Zafro.
It's very, very good stuff from the Renault man. As I said, when Tom Penguin went up into 8th place now for Tom Penguin, where are the Renault boys finding this pace? This is incredible. Alex Zafro is going to climb up into 6th position with 2 minutes to go in the session. Both Renaults up in the top 10. This is staggering stuff. Brilliant.
Just a couple of tenths behind Mike Noonan as well now.
Oh, brilliant. I'm really impressed as Blair Grills now pops up into 6th place. There's no doubt about it. That's a good lap from him as well. So Blair Grills goes 6th. And Mike Noonan then.
Sorry, Andy, Mike Noonan is on his lap, yeah. And he's got a bit wide there in turn 4.
Yeah, a little bit too wide, I'd say, Dan, but he's still keeping it together. He's up a little bit on his previous best, but a little bit ain't enough when you're 6/10 away from pole.
Yeah, he needs to find the time seriously. Let's see what he can do for turn 7. And, well, you notice there, and you compared that with Alex Zafro's lap last time round, you can sort of cut that corner a little bit at turn 7. Mike Noonan did not do that, so he'll definitely be losing time through there.
Oh, but he was committed, though, into the castle section, wasn't he? He flew up the hill there, and that looked really tidy, so that could be a couple of tenths in Mike Noonan's pocket, but he needs more than a couple. He needs half a second and some. Mike Noonan then pushing on a little bit wide, break, brushing up against the barrier as well for good measure. What's it looking like? Oh, he's 6 tenths up.
Oh, it's a 1:14.8. Wow.
Here we go then. Mike Noonan a little bit compromised coming out of that corner. I don't think this is going to be enough though for pole position. He needs to be pretty rapid. Coming around these final couple of corners, it needs to be very special. I don't think it'll be special enough. It might be enough to topple Jack Pearson. Let's wait and see. The top 3 in the championship are going to be separated by absolutely nothing here as he comes across the line. Oh, it's a 1:39.4. He's behind Bossman Sean, and that is a massive blow for Mike Noonan, but it gets him up the order at least.
So I think we can judge from that lap that Mike Noonan is running a lot more downforce than certainly the likes of Luca Chiapelli. What have you seen?
I'm seeing Bossman Sean absolutely light up the timing screens here. 14.7 through the middle sector. It says he's 6/10 up on his previous best. So Bossman Sean here looking at going for yet another pole position. Here he comes then, in the Alfa Romeo, running up to the line. Is he going to bump Chiapelli and Jack Pearson back down alongside Mike Noonan? The checkered flag is out. Bossman Sean for the line. It's a 38.8. That is astonishing, that lap time. Jack Pearson also finding 0.3 of a second, Dan.
Yeah, but Jack Pearson was a little bit wide coming round to the final proper corner. That might have put him at a slight disadvantage down the long straight. Mr. Chiapelli was 2 tenths off in the first sector. Let's see where Jack can go then. Can he get ahead of Bossman Sean? I won't be surprised given the exit from that final corner. Let's see.
Oh, it's going to be so close. 39.2. 39.2. He's 3 tenths shy. But he's ahead, crucially, of Luca Chiapelli, who's almost 4 tenths down.
It's
not going to
way up.
happen. It's not going to happen. Mike Noon behind him is going again. Let's see what Mike Noon can do. We'll see Chiapelli over the line first. But I do not think there's going to be an improvement from the World Championship leader. Up to the line he comes. And he's pitting.
He's pitting.
Mike Noon then. Last chance saloon. He's coming in as well, I think. No, he's not. He's running for the line, but he's not going to be quick enough. No way. Mike Noon, 39.7. Not quick enough. And Postman Sean, the pole position king, picks up yet another.
Yeah, he's pulled it out the bag once again, Bossman Sean, with the pole position. And in fact, he's actually now level, with thanks to the poles he's got tonight, level with Mike Noon in second place with 28 poles on the all-time leaderboard. So he'll be happy with that. Bit of personal pride for him on, as we say, this St. Patrick's Day.
Yep, happy St. Patrick's Day, and Bossman Sean, again, gets the job done. Incredible stuff in qualifying. He really is proving to be a thorn in the side of the championship contenders. Saying that, I think Luca will be happy.
Yes, I think he will indeed, to not have one of the championship contenders on pole.
Yeah, he's really good at getting in the way and taking points off the others. But there is your Azerbaijan qualifying results. It's Bossman Sean on pole position with that 138.8. Jack Pearson 3 tenths down in second, and it's Mr. Chiapelli in third. Mike Noon ensures that the three title rivals are together in fourth, with Sam Hickman in fifth. An excellent job from Alex Zaffro in sixth, with Blair Grylls impressing in seventh as well. Ahead of Dom Smith in eighth, and Chris Johnson ninth. Sir Tom Penguin in the top 10. What a job from him. Magic Poop Cannon in 11th, just outside that top 10. What do you make of that session? Who's the big stars? I've got to say, I'm impressed with Renault. Both cars in the top 10,
I was about to say, I think the Renaults have got to be the stars of that quali session. Looking forward to seeing what they can do off the line. Ironically, I think, did we not have Alistair in the Renault? I think he qualified 6th as well, didn't he, yesterday in TGP1? And then at the start of the race, there was a problem with his wheel, wasn't he? And he just couldn't move off the line. So Renault will be hoping for a little bit more reliability at the start of this race.
Okay, well, let's see how it all pans out. This is going to be very, very interesting. 3 rounds to go in the World Championship. Just 3 rounds remaining, folks, and the championship is finally poised. The top 3 covered by 29 points. Luca Chiapelli leads. Jack Pearson is second, and Mike Noon propping them up. 29 back in third. Mike Noon knows he needs a big result here in Baku to open up his chances in the World Championship in the final week of the season next week when we head to Silverstone in Austria. But with 3 to go, let's see how it all pans out today here in the streets of Baku. We're underway on a short run down to turn 1, and it's Bossman Sean that will lead them down there. Jack Pearson already looking up the inside. Look at Sam Hickman going around the outside down there. Both Reynolds have had a flying start with Tom Penguin up already into 7th place. We've got a safety car immediately, and that's Jack Pearson in the wall. Jack Pearson in the wall down there, and he's got damage. No doubt about it, the damage on that Mercedes. He's damaged the wing. What about Luca Chiapelli? I'm not too sure he made contact with down there. Was it Luca? Was it Mike? Have they got damage? Let's have a look, Dan.
Well, I think that caught everyone by surprise, didn't they? A very, very early safety car. They hadn't even reached turn 2, so tiny bit of an anticlimax there, you have to say. But Jack definitely has damage.
And so does
Mike Noon has damage as well, and he also was given a penalty. He was given a 5-second penalty once the safety car was deployed, and he's going to have to save that. He will have to save that in the box.
Oh my goodness me, disaster for Mike Noon. Disaster for Jack Pearson, who I think was punted into the wall by Mike Noon down at turn 2, and this will help Luca Chiapelli. He will be delighted. He's had a wobbly couple of races, but that is massive in his quest for this World Championship, isn't it?
Open goal then for Luca. Meanwhile, Sir Tom Penguin gained 3 places off the line there. He's in 7th.
Yeah, incredible given how short the run is down to turn 1. Incredible start. And I'm so impressed with Renault here today. I really am. 6th and 7th. That is an astonishing effort. I know, we knew Alex had it in his locker. We've seen it in flashes, haven't we? But Sir Tom Penguin, you know, it's almost as if he's been dragged along and he's just clinging to Alex's coattails, and it's so good to see. And he's ahead of Dom Smith as well.
That being said, of course, if they both choose to pit here, one obviously said Tom Penguin will have to queue.
No.
But let's see if they do come in then with running medium tyres to the end of the race. Let's see what the guys at their front decide to do. Is Bossman Shaw going to stay out? I think he's angling towards the pit lane. Jack is going to have to come in.
Yeah, but look at this. Dom Smith is holding up his team, is the rest of the field.
Oh!
6-second gap, so that's an interesting one from him to try and ensure that he doesn't have to queue. So Jack Pearson's in, he'll have to queue anyway, because Jack Pearson's got a lot of servicing to get done on that car, a brand new front wing. In goes Mike Noon, he's now serving that 5-second penalty, he's going to drop all the way down this order. Sir Tom Penguin stayed out and is now the leader of this race. So Mike Noon in, and he's just sitting there and waiting, and finally gets away all the way down in 18th place, and Dom Smith is only now getting served, and he's right down at the back. Wow, what a disaster.
Well, I think Dom might still make up a few places here. We've got Indecisive. Well, stop the start watch for Indecisive. He's only just starting his pit stop now, so a lot of drivers have obviously had to queue there, and Dom is out in 17th place, so he tried to back the field up. A bit similar to what Kimi Räikkönen done in Spa all those years ago, and well, I suppose it ultimately hasn't worked out brilliantly for Dom.
Yeah, it has not, and wow, how does it leave the situation then for the championship contenders? Look at Chiapelli then, would be net second, Jack Pearson would be net fifth, and Mike Noon, well, on the fringes of the points, and that is no use at all. No use at all. Mike Noon under pressure here of really dropping out of the championship picture unless something happens very quickly for him.
Yeah, this is going to have to be some sort of incident for Luca Chiapelli in the next 11 laps of this race. That's a big instance at turn 2 as possibly throwing a major turning point into this championship. And for Luca now, you have to say, it's set pretty well for him, but who knows what could happen once we get going again.
Yeah, you're right. I've got to just jump on what you said earlier, Dan. An open goal for Luca and an own goal for his two rivals. An own goal.
Yeah.
What were they thinking? I mean, bumping into each other. They need to concentrate on Luca. Too busy fighting each other, and they've wiped each other out of contention. And Luca will be licking his lips at the thought of that, and he just needs to keep his nose clean now. He's in our fine position. Doesn't even need to overtake Bossman Sean. If he takes points out of the others, he'll be more than happy.
So I wonder if we'll see the soft tyre runners pit on this lap then. Sir Tom Penguin, Shepherd and Mr. John, who all decided to stay out, presumably so they weren't caught in traffic. But surely if you're on a soft tyre, you'll pit now. Got Magic Poop Cannon on the mediums and Stereogram on the mediums, and Chris and Bazza, who are also on the medium, although Chris isn't actually here. No, they've all stayed out. So
I can only presume that they're angling for a late virtual or full safety car later on, and there's every chance of that, isn't there, Dan? Because it's Baku, and anything happens in Baku. If you've seen the real life races around here,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, why not? Just try and play the long game. You're not going to damage your tyres behind the safety car, aren't you? Not so you will be able to go deeper into this race if you're Sir Tom Penguin, M. Shep, and Mr. John, and that is going to be a real challenge for the drivers who have stopped, and in particular the championship contenders, trying to negotiate this traffic, because, you know, they've got a lot to lose. These guys at the front have got nothing to lose. They don't care if you're in a championship battle or not. So the likes of Luca, Jack and Mike, they're going to have to be so careful and make sure they keep their nose clean, because this race could come to one of them if they keep their nose clean.
Indeed, and well, I would just say to everybody watching at home, do not go anywhere for this restart, because we know what safety car restarts are like in Azerbaijan. I don't think I've seen Sir Tom Penguin lead the field at the start of one before from a safety car. It's that very long straight. I think this could all kick off with this safety car restart here. Yeah,
it sure could. And what a proud moment for the Penguins of the South Pole. Their man leading a race and leading from the safety car. And they'll be dancing on that South Pole if he goes on to win the race, but I don't think that is particularly likely, but you never know. I should say that Tom Penguin, by the way, he's got damage as well on that front wing. I don't know where he's picked that up, but he needs a pit stop, and he needs one right now, because he's going to be so slow.
Oh yeah, I've just seen that. That is really bad, isn't it? Well, oh wow, it's just almost nothing left of it.
Yeah, well, there's a genuine possibility when he floors it, he'll be in the wall with the left front folded up over the chassis when we get going again here.
Yeah, through those two corners, through the slalom, to the final two corners of the lap. Imagine if he goes straight into the wall. This could cause serious drama. Safety car is in there. I'm not really sure what's about to happen, Andy.
Yeah, I think it might be coming in, but I think he'll be going straight back out. But thankfully, for Sir Tom Penguin's sake, he's not floored it too early, and he will be able to get through that section of the racetrack without bouncing off the barrier. But he's not planning to jump anytime soon, because he knows from previous races in Baku that you're just going to become a sitting duck if you go too early, and he's just going to coast up to the start-finish line and go as late as possible, isn't he? So he gets away now, and it's almost like the start of the race again. Over the line they go. Sir Tom Penguin leads them down to turn 1 from Magic Poop.
Oh, big crash!
Big crash in the back. Is that Luca? Is that Luca?
It's Mr. John. It's Mr. John.
Oh wow, that was a very, very scary moment there for one of the Alpha Tauris. I tell you what, the Alpha Tauri pit crew would have their hearts in their mouth when they seen that car spinning. They'll be glad it's not their championship contending one, but I don't think they'll be happy that one of their cars is spinning anyway. Sir Tom Penguin's already been swallowed up by the pack. He drops down to third. M-Ship and Magic Poop Cannon are through. Let's keep an eye on Luca as he tries to negotiate the traffic. Already Jack Pearson, there's only one car between he and him, and already Luca clips the back of Baza. No damage done though. That could have been a scary moment for him. Tom Penguin, by the way. Oh, look at that. Tom Penguin all over the road. M-Ship and Bossman Sean in there as well. Drama everywhere you look. We're going to be 3 wide into the castle section here. See a belly, having a look on the edge of the stereogram. Round the outside goes Jack Pearson. On the inside into the castle section. Oh, Baza in the wall. M-Ship misses the
Safety car.
Safety car. Absolute chaos here in Baku. And I did say it would be going down the pit lane and go straight out the other end. And that is exactly what's happened. Unbelievable.
Wow.
We had Jack Pearson round the outside of Lucatiapelli. Baza missed a braking point. Bang! Straight out of the castle section wall. And then we had, who was it? M-Ship ploughing off into the distance as well.
Yeah, so I think going into turn 7 we had Shepherd, Stereogram and I think one other driver were all side by side, weren't they, going quite slow. And then you had the 3 championship contenders all charging up behind, and then Jack Pearson was trying to make moves, and then Baza hit the wall at the castle. Wow, that was unbelievable.
That was absolutely ludicrous. And well, now Sir Tom Penguin make that pit stop, indeed he will, and he crashes his way in to the pit lane. No regard for the barriers on the way in, but he gets in there nonetheless. And he will now make that pit stop, and Magic Poop Cannon now leads this race. How many different leaders are we going to have of this Azerbaijan Grand Prix? And I'm going to say it, Dan. Well done, Baku.
Yeah, well done, Baku, indeed. So Mr. Chiapelli then is in second place in the lead in the net order at the moment. It's Bossman Sean in the lead, isn't it? But Bossman Sean does have a penalty.
Yeah, but so that's net lead then for Luca. But interestingly, it's net second and third for Jack and Mike.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so they managed to get past all the craziness of the restart. They all kicked off with Mr. John, didn't it? It's just going down the main straight. I think they all sort of bunched into each other. We had a little bit of a Mugello kind of situation there. And Jack and Mike have managed to avoid it. So it is really the top 3 in the championship who are at the front, with Bossman Sean there as well. I'm just going to check to see what that penalty's for Bossman Sean. It's a 5-second time penalty for Bossman Sean. I wonder if that might have been for an instance when the safety car came out. If that was for some sort of the back, he might get that removed.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, Dan, I suppose, if that does work out. I've just had a little look at the 3 championship contenders. None of them have sustained damage, which is a minor miracle given how that lap after the safety car happened. And something that we've seen in Baku before in support races and in F1, a safety car around here breeds a safety car, and that's exactly what's happened. It's just the good news is you can't get any more safety cars after you've had 2. That's just the way the game's programmed in 25% distance races. Otherwise I think we'd have a few more, Dan.
Yeah, I think a lot of the field will be relieved about that, but I think we're going to have one more lap onto this safety car, aren't we? And I might have to try and figure out exactly what that penalty is for Bossman Sean to judge as to whether or not he will get it removed come the end of this race. And we'll see if will the likes of Stereogram or Magic Poop Cannon decide to pit at this point. You would think this would be the perfect opportunity for it.
Yeah, let's see then. Will they come in or will they stay out? It looks like they're staying out.
Well, I mean, this is really your last chance to pit under a safety car. And they're both staying out. So, well, okay, your guess is as good as mine, folks. We'll see what this, what's they're planning to do from here.
It looks just like a glory run, doesn't it, really? At the front for Magic Poop Cannon and Stereogram. They fancy getting involved in the championship battle, some screen time, why not? And it will provide some drama, but you've got to say, if you're Luca Chiapelli in this position now, what do you do? I mean, you cannot get yourself caught on the outside of Stereogram or Magic Poop Cannon here. You cannot do that. If you do that, Jack Pearson and Mike Noon will pounce immediately. You cannot get hung out to dry by a driver you're not racing against.
Yeah, this is nightmare stuff, really, isn't it, for Luca? Because come this restart, he's going to have, you know, I think it's fair to say, a slower driver directly ahead of him, and then Jack Pearson might just fancy doing a Daniel Ricciardo style move into the first corner.
Oh, this is going to be quite the race. I just love TGP2 at the minute, Dan. The way it's set up, this championship, it's absolutely fantastic, isn't it? One way then the other it twists. It might look good for Luca at the minute, but there's no guarantee in the next 7 laps around this track like this it will still be the case. It's absolutely wild.
It is indeed. Just having a quick look, and Bossman Sean got his penalty for ignoring the yellow flag at the restart. So I think when Mr. John was spun round, there was a load of overtakes going on in the field, and then Bossman Sean was given a penalty for that. So I suspect that will go to the stewards. It may well get removed, so we'll have to bear that in mind for the championship.
It does sound like the kind of thing you would get removed, doesn't it?
It does. To me it does, yeah, because I mean it was frantic stuff, and I don't think there was any contact made with another car or anything, so I would say that will probably get removed. But anyway, you're going to get some more frantic action here. Here comes the restart.
Well, if you're watching at home, I suggest you buckle up, get some popcorn and enjoy, because this is going to be absolutely nuts. And Magic Poop Cannon doing the same thing as Tom Penguin, not going too early, because if you do, you're just going to invite yourself into being attacked into that first corner. So we're just going to wait and wait and wait, and you just wonder, Dan, in real life how long it will take for most of the F1 drivers to cotton on to this kind of idea, because it's definitely the way to do it, isn't it? And Magic Poop Cannon just waiting. When will they release that throttle? Waiting still. Oh.
Mike New just hit the wall.
Oh my goodness. Is he out?
He's not out, but he's lost a load of positions, and I'm not really sure how. I just heard a big crunch, and Mike Noon has obviously made contact with somebody and is down in 11th. Restart is underway.
Restart underway. Into the pits comes Mike Noon. His championship chance all but over after that error then, and he drops down, and look at Chiapelli already on the attack. He's down the inside of Stereogram immediately. And he's through immediately on Stereogram, and that puts pressure on Jack Pearson to follow through, and Jack Pearson will follow through, and he gets Stereogram immediately as well. Vital manoeuvre there as Bossman Sean challenges Poop Cannon for the lead. He's not close enough, and it stays as they were. Now,
well,
what about this time
Mike
out?
Noon,
oh, here we go, down the inside. Oh, nearly Bossman Sean on Magic Poop Cannon. Not quite close enough to go through there. Very, very close stuff between those two, and Poop Cannon is like the cork in a champagne bottle at the minute. He's going to be driving, he's like the poop in a cannon at the minute, that's what he is. And he's just holding everyone up, and that will place Jack Pearson a chance to try and mount some pressure on Luca Chiapelli perhaps.
So we got Sam Hickey in the pit lane there as well, so I wondered if Sam Hickey caught... Yeah, it was. Sam Hickey had a severe collision with Mike Noon, and Indecisive got involved in it as well. So Mike Noon will be absolutely furious with that.
Oh, I love that, lovely Murray Walker tribute there from Dan the Man, absolutely wonderful. On lap 7 then, out of 13, and Poop Cannon now. Oh, Bossman Sean in the wall.
He's in the wall.
And that is damage, and that is severe damage to the right end plate of that Alfa Romeo car, and that will be great news for Luca, it will be great news for Jack, and it will be great news for Poop Cannon, who will now get some breathing space out front, and he's yet to pit.
See if Bossman Shaw can make the... Yes, he is, so well, Bossman Sean is surely his main, but we might as well just stay out, Bossman Sean. Magic Poop Cannon's going to have to come in at some point. Jack Pearson's going to have a run on Giapelli, I think.
Oh, he does have a run. This is crucial in the World Championship. Giapelli defends the inside. And in the end, Jack Pearson is not able to get through. But look at the two leaders. Bossman Sean, down the inside he goes on Magic Poop Cannon. Tries to muscle his way through. Can't do that. And Poop Cannon clings on for one corner longer. Oh. How much longer can he go on though? Action, no plenty behind, but here comes Bossman Sean down the inside of Poop Cannon. Is he finally through? Poop Cannon turns in. Bossman Sean hits the wall. Unbelievable, more damage for him. And now look at Giapelli is down the inside of Bossman Sean, and he's crucially through. And he gets through in a vital part of the racetrack because Jack Pearson will struggle to clear Sean now.
Alex Afro sadly went straight on a tier 2 and straight in the wall, and he was in I think he was in a net 4th, wasn't he? Now he's down in 10th place, which is a huge shame for him. Jack Pearson needs to get this move done on Bossman Sean though. This is not good. He's got Chris Johnson right behind him.
Oh, this is absolutely massive now. It's not quite do or die, but it's nearly that for Jack Pearson. He needs to get points out of Luca Giapelli in this race. He simply has to. He wants to get that down to 14 so that it's in his hands. It's 16 at the minute. If he finishes ahead of him anywhere on this racetrack at the minute in the top 7 or 8 places, he will have it in his own hands despite being 14 back. At the minute, he's not going to do that. He needs to get ahead of Sean and Luca.
He does, and well, Bossman Sean's got so much damage now. I'll be quite amazed if he decides to stay out here. Jack Pearson's got to get the move done. Luca Giapelli's going to be right on Magic Poop Cannon. I think Magic Poop Cannon has just forgot to make pit stops here or something, because unless he's going to come in again, I think he might be getting ready to come in now. And Jack Pearson is right on Bossman Sean as well.
He's not coming in, is he? He's not coming in. He's going to stay out another lap here. Is Magic Poop Cannon. Is he going to go down the inside? Look at Giapelli. He thinks about it. He says the fastest lap of the race as well. For good measure does look at Giapelli. Front wing everywhere on this racetrack. Carbon fibre littering the road here in Baku. The yellow flags have been waving pretty much since the get-go. The marshals can barely wave them any longer. But here comes Luca Giapelli. He's on the attack now. The World Championship leader trying to strengthen his grip on that position. And he now does that by taking the lead of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix with 3 races to go. And that is absolutely massive.
That could be a huge moment in this championship because it would have allowed Jack Pearson to close back in if he had to go all around the middle sector with him stuck behind Magic Poop Cannon. Jack Pearson is actually quite a bit away. I wonder if Jack Pearson might have some damage. He's sliding all over the place right now. He's 1.5 seconds off.
He's not got damage.
He's in a second place, I suppose, so it's not at the end of the world. But Luca Giapelli, wow, somehow, despite all the madness that has happened in the 9 laps of this race, now is in the lead, and, well, he's got a car in between as well.
Well, yeah, it's looking really strong for Luca Giapelli at the minute, and, well, 7 points gain, well, that's going to be a net 4 gain over the course of the week, so you'll be delighted with that, won't he? He's just motoring along, doing the job he needs to keep Jack Pearson and especially Mike Noonan Bay, who is in real danger now of dropping completely out of contention here. In fact,
yeah, I think it
is over unless Luca crashes.
Yeah, it's 52 points. Is it? Oh, Ferrari's lost it. Magic Poop Cannon's round.
Big moment for him, and that's one less car for Jack Pearson to chase. And now the chase really is on to try and catch Luca Giapelli, isn't it? And Poop Cannon will be in this lap. Go on.
Yeah, Magic Poop Cannon is surely going to have to pit now. And Indecisive, through all this madness, is in the 4th place. In a legitimate 4th place. He does have that penalty because he got involved that instant with Mike Noonan and Sam Hickey at the restart. But he might get that removed from him. But he's in 4th place right now. Although Neljak is right behind him and might go for 4th himself. Sir Tom Penguin's in 7th.
Yeah, Sir Tom Penguin's on for a good result here. And through goes Neljak to steal that 4th place away. Chris Johnson not too far away as well. Sir Tom Penguin could be on for his best ever finish here. Chris Johnson now passes Indecisive and climbs up to 5th, and the glory run for Indecisive is all but over with that serious wing damage.
Yeah, he's also got big front wing damage, hasn't he? So Mike Noonan then is in 10th place. I wonder if at some point he might say, hey, Bazza, please get out the way. But it's 2 seconds, the gap between them, so there's really no need for Bazza to be doing that just yet.
No, there's not, and to be honest, I don't think he's got much of a chance whether he's 9th or 10th, does he? Really, he needs so much more than that to really have a chance in this World Championship, as Chris Johnson nearly runs into the back of Neljak down at the braking zone there. That was so close to contact, but as they go through the castle section, they're very close.
I think, well, Mercedes is looking like they're both going to get on the podium here as well. I think they will be extremely close to clinching the Constructors as well after this race. Red Bull were the closest challengers, and they're down in 9th and 10th.
Yeah, disaster, isn't it, for Mike Noon? He's in a really messy race, bouncing Jack into the barrier at turn 2 on the opening lap, and then under the safety car, colliding with Sam Hickman. And you just cannot, under any circumstances in a championship battle, get involved in incidents like that. It's happened far too many times for Mike Noon. Oh, what was that? Was that wing damage?
It was Dom. Dom crashed. Dom crashed.
Dom Smith
and Dom's going to have the pit.
He's going to have to pit indeed. And Jack here is in dreamland. He's just put the racing point car into the podium places, no less. Sir Tom Penguin will now be 5th.
Yes, Sir Tom Penguin is right behind Indecisive. 4th, 5th place, Sir Tom Penguin in the Renault.
Go on, son. Yes. Unbelievable. We're not meant to be biased in the commentary box, but that is lovely to see. And the Penguins rejoice on the South Pole. We can hear them from here. Unbelievable. Absolute scenes in Antarctica as Sir Tom Penguin does his species proud by moving up into 5th position. Unbelievable stuff.
So the Red Bulls are 8th and 9th now, so maybe the Constructors might not be over just yet, with Dom now down in 12th. And, well, Mike Noon gets ahead of Azza.
Jack Pearson's been in the wall somewhere. He's seriously damaged the front wing as well. Unbelievable.
And Chris Johnson goes for 3rd on Neljak.
And gets it. So Chris Johnson takes 3rd from Neljak, but Jack Pearson, he might have to pit there. That is barely drivable, Dan. Barely.
2.6 seconds is the gap then. I'm sure he's going to stay out, isn't he? I don't think he's going to pit. He might as well stay out, although saying that, Chris Johnson's closed in a second just within the castle section.
Yeah, he's going to end up binning it. He's going to end up with no points here, Jack, if he's not careful. He needs to be careful. He's got literally no left-hand side to that front wing. It's like, I mean, you might as well just screw a plank on that left side. That's how much downforce he's got.
Yeah. How is he going to get through these 2 corners?
He's not.
Coming up now, these 2 flat-out corners. Chris Johnson's going to be right there.
Oh! Careful, Jack, careful. Chris Johnson negotiates. Neljak will now come flying in and take the place as well. And now Neljak is going to run as a result on Chris Johnson for 2nd place. And here we go. Neljak down the outside. Jack Pearson stays out. Don't run into. We're 3 wide down to turn 1. Jack Pearson with a plank of a front wing tries to go round the outside. Neljak's up to 2nd. This is astonishing stuff. If this carries on much longer, Sir Tom Penguin's going to get a podium.
Oh, this is absolutely unbelievable. Yeah, he's closing in. Sir Tom Penguin's closing in on Jack Pearson now with the front wing damage. Is Chris Johnson going to go for Neljak for 2nd?
Yes, he's very long way back, but he can't quite get through. Oh, this is absolutely wild. Absolutely wild stuff here in Baku. Well done, Baku. I'll say it again. Absolutely ludicrous, this race. Neljak
the way this is going.
Go on.
The way this is going, I think Luca's going to have a crash in the castle section on the final lap, to be honest.
So do I. Oh, this is nuts. Neljak is in 2nd place. Sir Tom Penguin is going to be 4th in a minute. He can see the podium sitters in front of him on the road.
And Mike Noon is in 7th, Bazza in 8th, so the Red Bulls continue to make progress. Indecisive has no front wing at all.
Well, Jack Pearson might as well with that as well. He's just he's got to carry on, doesn't he? He's just got to carry on.
Yeah, he's got to. Yeah.
Sir Tom Penguin is within DRS of Jack Pearson, folks. This is ridiculous.
Well, Luca Tiapelli is 14 seconds clear. Car number 14. The final lap of the race on lap 13 now, and he just has to keep going, and he will win the race. Chris Johnson closing in on Neljak.
Sir Tom Penguin takes 4th place. That is not a misprint. Sir Tom Penguin has just taken 4th place from Jack Pearson. As Chris Johnson now lines up Neljak. Inside, outside, if they crash, Tom Penguin's at the podium. They do touch, and Chris Johnson's That's unbelievable. Yes. Sir Tom Penguin takes the podium places. This is stop this right now. Stop this. This is ridiculous. Hold the front page. Hold the back page. Sir Tom Penguin is on the podium, folks. Dan, speak.
Well, he's going to have Jack Pearson behind him for the rest of the race, but of course Jack Pearson has the damage, and through this middle sector he's going to surely fall away, and some Sir Tom Penguin will extend the gap.
I'm sorry, folks. You're going to have to give us a moment here. Sir Tom Penguin is on course for a podium here. Neil Jack is on the podium as well. I'm expecting to look at a Bennett now. Unbelievable.
God.
And in amongst all the hilarity, you have to stand and rise and applaud and appreciate this performance from Luca Chiapelli on the back foot after the last race, under pressure, but he has delivered. He's kept his cool while his championship rivals have fallen by the wayside. He's not quite landed the knockout punch here today, but he's going to go quite some way to sealing the championship. Luca Chiapelli comes across the line. It's a dominant victory. It's win. It's 25 points in the bag. A massive win going into the final week, and what we're about to see behind that is quite astonishing in the form of Neil Jack, who's going to come home a brilliant second. He's weaving his way across the line, and Sir Tom Penguin, what a result for Neil Jack. What a result for Penguin, and look at this for 4th and 5th across the line. Jack Pearson, and Blair goes in there as well. Unbelievable. It's a dead heat, but Jack Pearson gets there just with Chris Johnson 5th and Blair Grouse 6th, and that's crucial for any hope he had in this World Championship, which is slowly starting to extinguish. But that's a massive result for Luca Chiapelli, a wonderful result for Neil Jack, and a quite ridiculously sensational result for Sir Tom Penguin. Unbelievable, he's on the podium, Dan!
There's a famous line that I mentioned at the start of the commentary by Murray Walker in Suzuka, which I think can sum up that race, Sandy. That was incredible.
It was incredible. It really was. And another word from Murray Walker: anything can happen in Formula 1, and it usually does. Well, anything can happen in TGP2, and it usually does. And that result on your left-hand side pretty much summarises that one. Wow. Wow. Wow.
Tom Smith finished in 10th place as well, just 17 hundredths ahead of Alex Afro, so I think they must have had a bit of a drag race to the line as well.
Absolutely. It's incredible. What? Look at the state of the podium. Look at it. Look at Chiapelli tries to bring some normality back to this race by standing on the top step. I think the podium organisers are showing them where to stand. Neil Jack, you're there. Tom Penguin, you're there, mate. Unbelievable. Oh, what a night for Neil Jack. His Norwich City team are up 2-0 at the minute as well. And, well, he'll be delighted with this. Look at Chiapelli on the top step. And Tom Penguin rounds off the night with 3rd place. I tell you what, I don't work for Formula 1, but I'd like to be in that office tomorrow. Well, it might be a day off for Tom Smith and Alex Afro after that one, because I think Sir Tom Penguin's going to be on the champagne all night, Dan. There's the final results then from the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Look at Chiapelli wins from Neil Jack and Sir Tom Penguin. Yes, that's correct. Jack Pearson is 4th, a damaging blow for his title hopes. Chris Johnson is 5th with Blair Girls 6th, and, well, it's pretty much the final nail in the coffin for Mike Noon. His championship hopes up in flames. Baza came home in 8th with Magic Poop Cannon in 9th, and Tom Smith in 10th. Alex Afro, he'll be wondering what might have been with his teammate on the podium. He's 11th. Red Bull Kim gets points in 12th. The Joe Sayer point system. What a system. He gets 12. Indecisive is 13th. Stereogram is 14th. 15th for Chris Thurgood. Bossman Sean, Sam Hickman, M. Chef, and Mr. John failed to finish. I don't know about you, Dan, but I am out of breath.
Oh, I need to lie down. That was absolutely brilliant stuff, wasn't it? What an incredible race. And here are the championship standings then, heading into the final 2 races next weekend. You got Luca Chiapelli on 334 points. Jack Pearson is on 305. So what's that? What's
29,
that gap? That's 29 points, isn't it? 29 points. And then Mike Nguyen is on 288. So I'm not sure if that puts Mike Nguyen out of it completely. It's 46 points behind Mike Nguyen. So it's not over, but 52 points is all that's on offer for next week. So you have to say it's going to have to be a miracle.
Yeah, it's as good as over for Mike Nguyen. He's put up a good fight, but just too many errors at crucial times. It really is going to pretty much. I don't want to sell it as a two-way fight, but it pretty much is, Dan, isn't it? I mean, even for Jack from here, 29 points. He'd be gutted not to have pulled that back, and he's had a real opportunity there. and it looks like he's let that go and let it slip. 29 points. I mean, even if he basically needs to win both races and hope Luca finishes 5th or lower in both. That's very unlikely.
And of course, and really, Luca can of course seal a title now in just the next race, which is in Silverstone before the finale in Austria.
Yep. So things looking very, very good for Luca Chiapelli. I've got one more thing to ask you, Dan. Your driver of the day.
Well, I mean, do you even need to ask?
No. Sir
Do
Tom
you
Penn.
need to ask that question?
No,
Yeah,
no.
100%.
Well,
That was just incredible.
Well,
Unbelievable.
Well, I'm pretty sure in the office somewhere they will have official, actual Formula One legitimate champagne. So
Yeah.
I'm sure he will be heading down there tomorrow and cracking it open. There he must be, because that is an astonishing result to that race. But I've got nothing left to say apart from well done, Baku. We'll see you again next week, folks, for the final rounds of this ridiculous TGP2 Championship. Who is going to win? Will it be Mike? Will it be Jack? Or will it be the ever-consistent Luca Chiapelli? Join us at the same time next week for all the drama, because I'm telling you, it's guaranteed. Goodbye.